One more turn to go. A fistful of throttle and say hello to your winner of the 40th Dubya World Vet Motocross Championship, Mr. Phil Nicoletti.
Always good to see former motocross star, still a motocross star here at the age of 35. Filthy Phil Nicoletti. So good to see you. What inspired you to enter this race here this weekend?
Well, it was the last minute decision. I hit up Jamie because he told me he had a 144 I could maybe ride, months back. And I hit him up on Sunday after asking if he still had it. He said no, he can maybe find me one, but he had a 450 I could ride. And so I'm like, all right, well, I checked that off the bucket list. And then all my friends at KTM gave me a 150 to ride for the Pasha 125 race on Saturday. So I took a production KTM 150 out on Glen Helen, and it was a little squirrely, but I had a blast. So I got third in that, and yeah, I'm enjoying the vet style racing. It's kind of a run what you brung type of gig, and so far it's a blast. I can't say anything bad about it.
Well, we know this thing's flying. We know Jamie's got it all hopped up. What did you do to train for this race? How's your fitness?
Coors Lights. I had about 5 of them last night. And,
Five Coors Lights, and you were able. Well, that was
good.
You looked pretty. Didn't look like you were winded at all there that first moto.
I'm not gonna lie, I got to halfway and I'm like, fuck, I should have maybe only had 3 beers last night, but it was it's good. I need to maybe roll it back when it comes to race day, but it's like I said, it's fine. Still go fast for a couple laps, and again, I'm taking in the whole vet vibe. That's kind of what it's about, and so far I'm enjoying it.
Very cool. So what are you doing now in terms of staying active, in terms of training?
I mean, I'm still riding and training. I haven't ridden during the weeks. I did a GNCC last week. That's the first time I had ridden since Vegas SMX. So I really have been off the bike for a long time. Well, for me, a long time, 5-6 weeks. And then all of a sudden I'm racing last weekend and this weekend. So bike fitness, I'm really not in shape, but I've still been hitting the gym and cycling just because I've done it for so many years. I'm in a schedule, and if I don't work out or train, I feel like a pile of shit. So plus when you have 5 beers at night, you kind of have to do something in the morning to kind of blow the cobwebs off. So yeah, we've still been active, but I'm just wish there was a couple slower guys here, so I didn't have to try so hard in the 30 Pro.
Here from iconic Glen Helen Raceway, it is time to drop the gate. We are off racing into Talladega Turn. It's a drag race down the stretch. Who will get the whole shot here in 30 plus Moto number 1?
And that looks like a Yamaha out front coming right underneath. That was Kiefer that got to the first turn first, but Alessi comes out of the first turn first.
Living up to his name, it is Mr. Whole Shot.
Yeah, and that's Phil Nicoletti on that twisted back FXR Yamaha.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you about. A lot of these vet guys, particularly Mike Brown, Mike Alessi, I mean, they're still bringing it hardcore. Are you impressed with how in shape these guys are?
Yeah, no, like Mike Alessi, to me, I said before, when we were younger, he was a world-class athlete, winning motos, winning races, like Mike was a badass. And then Mike Brown's the national champion, at 52 years old, still out there digging. And, I know how those guys were, you know what I mean? And it's hard for them to come up to the level, I guess, where I was at, just 5-6 weeks ago. Because when you're out of it, to be at that intensity and that race pace of like pro nationals. But they still ride so freaking good. So, and for 20 minutes they can haul ass. So, yeah, it keeps me on my toes. But it's cool. Like I said, it's all for fun, if you get first or second, like at this point, like who really gives a shit? So it doesn't really matter in my book. So
how would you compare this to the pressure you felt when you were on top of your game?
This is no pressure, like I said, I'm totally okay with getting a 5th if I need to or whatever. Like to me, it's really, I mean, yeah, there's money on the line, but it ain't money like we were making at nationals and stuff like that. And I'm not fighting for contracts and jobs anymore. So, it's hard still to roll out of that mentality that it is just for fun, like even when I lined up for the GNCC, you kind of go red and you want to race like you knew what you were for outdoor nationals, but sooner or later that goes away, and you got to come to terms with it that you're not that person anymore. But for right now, I still feel like I have that in me for at least another year or so. So it's cool.
35 is still young when we're relatively speaking in terms of life, right?
Yeah.
they say NFL stands for not for long. Yeah. Motocross is pretty much the same thing. When you look back at what a whirlwind that was and how quickly that passed by, what advice would you give to this next crop of riders coming up?
It's hard because, like, I see it now with amateur kids, like, you know, it's like they think if they don't have a ride at 18, 19, or 20, or 21, and they're kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel, like, they're not going to make it. You know, just because you don't make it at, you know, in that window span doesn't mean that you still can't get to success at 23, 24, and 25. And to be honest with you, like for myself or Amart, we got it a little later, so we appreciated it a little bit more, and we're able to, you know, we had a little bit more knowledge, and we had went through the ringer and stuff like that on people that were good in the industry and people that weren't good in the industry, and we kind of pick and chose who we wanted to be with, and that made the biggest difference more than anything. But just because a kid doesn't get the success at the later teens and early 20s doesn't mean that you won't find that in the mid 20s, you know, where you have a lot more maturity to be able to accept, you know, not so much stardom, but when you start doing good, you appreciate it more.
Great advice, man. Last question for you here is, what was the greatest moment of your career looking back?
I mean, it's hard because I only have one podium, and that's at Unadilla, overall podium. But I guess I would have to say it. I have a lot of top fives, tons of top tens, but I got a moto podium here in 2015. I got a third, and that was me on the JGR team. Barsha went second, I went third, and Weston went fifth. So we had all three JGR bikes in the top five, and I'm a big Coy Gibbs fan, you know, rest in peace, and that's a really cool memory for us. So it was awesome. As much I hate Glen Helen on a national day is good. So Vet National Day, not so much. AMA Pro National Day, it's okay.
Well, man, it's great to see you out here. Enjoy the ride, and we wish you all the best moving forward. Hope to see you out here for many years to come.
I will. It'll be fun.
Thanks
Thank
a
you,
lot.
mate. Appreciate it.
Good. Look at this. Nicoletti to the outside as we're already banging bars. It's a drag race up the hill. Alessi looks back. Does he have enough horsepower?
Oh,
Nicoletti
nice.
gets around him. What a move. Wow.
That was a strong statement right there.
He froze Alessi. Alessi looked over and just couldn't do anything about it. Perhaps wrong line choice? I don't know. Did he make a bobble? Did he make a mistake? Nicoletti was gone.
Maybe that Jamie Ellis Twisted Development YZ450 just had a little bit more for that.
The one and only Jamie from Twisted Development. So good to see you. I know you love your big bores. You love speed. What in the world do we got going on with Filthy Phil Nicoletti's bike? Because this thing was flying out there, especially up those hills.
Yeah. It's pretty close to a Club MX Yamaha. We work with Club a lot, and Phil's been there for the past years, and he's been my test rider at Club for a long time, so I lean on him a lot. Obviously, we take input from everyone, and some people that we test with, we kind of have a good feeling of what they're saying and how to translate into a digital form to give them what they're looking for. So last minute, I kind of had this engine built. We went racing at Loretta's with Cole Martinez. And then this chassis was brand new. We'd used it for a Club MX dyno bike. Wow. And so kind of everything came together for us to get the thing put together and come out and have a little bit of fun and race this weekend with Phil.
What all can you tell me about this engine?
Well, it's pretty standard as far as what we do. The rim finishing process of the transmission kind of helps with durability and a little bit of performance. And then we put a Crankworx CWI rod. We built our own piston through JE Piston, so it's a TD spec piston.
Stock displacement or a little bigger?
Stock displacement, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, this thing we could go racing Supercross, no problem.
Wow.
So as far as that goes, yeah, and we don't really ever build big bore 250Fs or 450s. It's really the two strokes that we do a lot of. So I would say that, just a good clean package. The RP throttle body we use has a twin injector system, so we can choose between front injector, rear injector, and it's all built into the throttle body. So that's been a really cool feature that people have liked with this machine. Pairing that with, radiator cap, a good Henson clutch, some Motul oil. I mean, shit, that's everything you need to build a good motorcycle.
Well, it's so good to see you here, and congratulations on that first moto win. How did you get hooked up with Phil?
Well, I've been building Phil's engines for the past 5-6 years with Club MX. So Club MX right here on the Shroud, they've been helping Phil for a long time, and I've been helping Phil through them. So it's pretty easy, I had the bike laying around. I just needed to put it together. So on Monday, we started this project, and then we're here now. We won the first moto. We're hoping to do the same in the second moto, and it feels riding good, and I hope it goes to plan.
Congratulations.
Yep.
Before they get set to go. And what did we learn from Moto 1? The first half of the track could be the most important part of the race. That's where we saw Nicoletti get past Alessi. It was a lead that he would not relinquish for the entire moto.
Yeah, and there's definitely a couple races that go into this. It looks like the 30-second board's about to go sideways, but you got the race to the first turn, then you got the race through that first tight section, and then you got the rest of the race as well. So that card goes sideways. We're about to see some racing action, and here we go.
Here we go, guys. We are racing into Talladega turn. Who will get the whole shot? Will it be Mr. Whole Shot? Mike Alessi again. It is the 800 out there in front. Can he hang on? Here comes the Yamaha to the inside. As we've got tons of traffic behind him, Nicoletti wastes no time in making the pass. Does Alessi have anything for him? Can he counter? He knows you can't let him get too far away. Giacamo has closed in a last chance effort here as we hit the final few turns of the 40th Dubya World Vet Motocross Championship. It is the 30-plus moto. Phil Nicoletti leading Italy's Giacamo Redondi. This is it, Mark. Does he have anything up his sleeve? That it sure is. He's cranking it up,
Now it's just going to take a little mistake.
A few more turns left to go before we bring it home. Can New York's Yamaha mounted Philip Nicoletti bring home the checkered flag? Giacamo has really closed that gap. One more turn to go. A fistful of throttle and say hello to your winner of the 40th Dubya World Vet Motocross Championship, Mr. Phil Nicoletti. We got to give it up to the man on the Yamaha out of New York, the one and only Filthy Phil Nicoletti. You did it again. One on the day, and my producer keeps yelling in my ear, give him the money, give him the, it's going to hurt me to take this out of my, they actually let me put this in my pocket for a little bit, but thank you, Boyson, we really appreciate it. There's some travel money to get you back home to New York for the Boyson Fast Lap. How did you get the Fast Lap 2 motos in a row?
I don't know. Giacomo was hounding my butt, so I kind of had to shit or get off the pot, you know what I mean? So it was good, though. It's that track's not vet friendly, I can tell you that right now. So that's kind of one of the gnarlier things I've ridden this year. So typical Glen Helen, 3 o'clock on a Thursday practice day. But it was good. Did what I had to do and just kind of rode it in.
It seemed like towards the end there, the gap was starting to close a little bit. Did you know you had it? Were you starting to fade a little bit? Was it Giacamo closing in?
No, I knew he was there, but the problem is I don't know where you can really pass out there. It's all pretty one line inside. So, it was okay. Just maintained the race, but he rode really, really well. So I was just wish he would have given me a little bit of gap so I could have breathed a little more out there. So I'm a little hungover from last night, to be honest with you. A couple too many beers. I thought I was doing a vet-friendly day. I guess not.
Well, there you go, folks. I mean, now they know I wasn't kidding. We were talking about your sports drink last night, but that is the spirit of this event, right? You guys lived in a very pressure-filled environment for many years with Supercross and Motocross. The spirit of this event, everybody wants to win, but you're out here having a good time too, aren't you?
Yeah, I got to work on the nighttime activity now, so it can. I need a good blend, nighttime activity and race day. But like I said, I didn't know I was going to have to ride this hard today. I mean, I knew everyone's fast, but just to be on my A game because the track is super tricky with the shadows and the square edge. Yeah, I'm going to say I wasn't a fan of the track, but it is what it is. We got it done, and like I said, Boyson, extra $500 helps.
Good old Phil Nicoletti. It is so wonderful to see all these big names come out for this race because, like I said, NFL, not for long. It's pretty much the same way in Supercross, Motocross, but the love of two wheels and the speed for some of these guys carries on long after their professional careers. Thanks so much for watching, guys. We got more coming. Make sure you're subscribed. If you like this video, here's another one for you from Glen Helen. Racing Jack rolls on.